You want to know how to write an LLC operating agreement? Now I'm going to walk you through how to do it step by step, starting right about now. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Karan from Life Accounting, the #1 firm for small business financial education. Be sure to give this video a like to help other small businesses see it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you have a quick question or just want to say thank you for the video, be sure to leave a comment below. Now, quick disclaimer, this is not legal advice, and you should get your operating agreement checked by an attorney of your choice. Okay, let's start by answering the question, what is an operating agreement and why is one important? Well, an operating agreement is a legally binding document that outlines in detail the rights and responsibilities of the members of the LLC and how the business will operate. Now, some states don't require you to have an operating agreement, but I suggest you always create one to minimize any misunderstandings and disputes. Operating agreements make it very clear how the business will operate and can be referenced later on in times of uncertainty, such as member withdrawal, equity and distribution splits, signing of contracts, member deaths, and more. If you do not have an operating agreement, the default LLC rules of your state will apply, which may differ from what you have in mind for your own business. Okay, now that we understand what an operating agreement is and the importance of one, let's walk through a template to help you write one for your own company. This will be a good starting point for your own operating agreement, as it includes almost all, if not all, clauses recommended in most agreements. Okay, the first step is to go to lawdepot.com. I'll leave a link for it in the description below so you don't got to go searching for it. Then you want to go to business at the top and then LLC operating agreement. All right, so we're going to start creating the LLC operating agreement. Note that it asks you, where is this company registered? And that's because it's going to want to create an LLC operating agreement that is specific to your state. So for me, I'm going to leave it on Georgia. Then I'm going to go to save and continue. Next is going to ask you, will your company perform professional services? So if your company performs a service such as cleaning, right, then you're going to want to click yes. If you are just, say, an e-commerce business, then you would click no. For me, I'm going to click no. All right, and then it's going to ask you, what is the primary purpose for this company? Now, for my company, Karan's Toys, you can make something general and something broad typically works, okay? So I'm just going to say I sell toys. Next is going to ask you for your company name. So go ahead and put your company name there. Then, where is the company principal office located? Okay, so wherever your company is located, if you have an office, then you put the office address. If you work from your home, then you put your home address. All right, so it's asking for the street. All right, so you put your address in. Now save and continue. Okay, next is going to ask you, will this company have more than one class of member? So in an LLC, your members are the owners. And when it asks you if you want to have more than one class of members, more than one class of owners, it's asking you if you want to have different, say, subsections of owners, each having their own different rights and responsibilities and obligations. That is up to you if you like to do that. For me and Karan's Toys, I'm going to say no. All right. Next is going to ask you, who are the members, aka the owners of the LLC. Note that with the LLC, you can have different types of owners. You can have actual people or individuals. A corporation can own an LLC, and then you can have a partnership, trust, or another LLC can own the LLC. So for me, I'm going to say individual. And all right, so I am one of the owners, right? So go ahead and put your name there, or I'm going to go ahead and put my name. And you can put your address if you like. If you have more than one member for your LLC, so say you're a multi-member LLC, right, not a single member, then go ahead and add all of the members. And my partner's name is John Doe, all right, in Karan's Toys. So you have your members, and you want to go down and click save and continue. Now, a capital contribution is anything that a member contributed to getting the business started. Now note, this can be money, this can be time, This can be things such as equipment, right? Whatever you contributed, whatever a member contributed to get the business started, you place it here. So me, I contributed, say, $5,000 in cash, right? And you want to put a total value here of $5,000. And my partner, John Doe, contributed equipment with a total value contribution of, say, $5,000. Right, so once again, capital contributions are anything that you contributed to getting the business up and running. Right, once you have that in there, click Save and Continue. So next question, could additional contributions be required in the future? Well, what does that mean? Well, we can go over here to the frequently asked questions and figure out, right? So choosing yes means that members can vote to increase the overall level of capital contributions in line with business needs and require additional investments from its members. So if you say yes, then you are basically saying that if the business needs more money, right? If you vote to increase the capital contributions, then basically they're required to, right? Your members are required to fulfill that obligation. If you choose no, then let's see what it means. Choosing no means any additional money invested in the company by a member, aka owner, is treated as a debt owed by the company to the owner. This means that members' original share in profit and loss and in distribution will be maintained. So this does not affect equity, but is basically seen as almost like a loan to the business from one of the members. Okay, so I'm going to click no. Now we're going to get into if you're able to add new members to the LLC. All right, can a new member be admitted later? I'm going to say no. All right, this is up to you, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. All right, can a member voluntarily withdraw from the company? That is up to you. I personally believe that if you're in business with somebody and you choose to do business with someone, that you can't just voluntarily leave. We're going to have to work it out together or figure out, how to go about that situation. So I'm going to click no. Okay. But if you have any questions about why you should restrict members, then you can look at this frequently asked questions here, and they have a good point. The success of your LLC depends on the participation of all members, right? That's why you might not want to have a member voluntarily withdraw from the company. I agree. Let's talk about member meetings. So LLCs are required to hold regular meetings, right, to discuss business. And you can put in your operating agreement how often you will hold regular meetings. Now, I'm going to choose only as required. I don't think that you should place a requirement in your operating agreement on regular meetings, but it might be good if you need to, hold yourself accountable and hold your members accountable, right? Me and Karan's Toys, we've been doing business together, me and John, for years, and I think we have a good understanding of when we need to hold meetings. So I'm going to use only as required, but if you need to hold yourself or your members accountable, then go ahead and put it in the operating agreement so that you can reference it later. Next, how will member votes be determined? Okay, by ownership share, or will everybody have equal vote for each member? Let's talk about this. So you can decide how voting, right? So when you need to decide on something, how votes are determined. It can be by ownership share, or does every single person in the LLC have an equal vote? I'm going to choose equal vote for each member. If you have a LLC where you might, different people have varying ranges of ownership in the company, then you might want to click buy ownership share, right? Because someone that has 1% ownership might not or should not have the same say so as someone with 70% ownership, right? But me and John, we have equal share in the business, so I'm going to do equal vote for each member. Next, let's go over to management details. So the next question goes into management, and it asks you who will manage the company. Two options, the members or one or more appointed managers. So within an LLC, it can be member managed, meaning the owners of the business run and operate the business on a daily basis, or it can be manager membered, meaning that one or more appointed managers, not the owners, manage the business on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so with the first option, the owners of the business are actively working in the business. And in option number 2, the owners of the business are passively in the business. They do not work on it on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to choose the members, or AKA the owners, will manage the company, as me and John plan to run the company and grow the company together and work in it day to day. Right, now let's go into accounting. So it asks the question, how should this company be classified for tax purposes? Will you be taxed as a partnership or a corporation? Okay, now I won't go into what this means. We have videos on our YouTube channel that can help you decide which is best for you. But I'm going to go ahead and say that we will be taxed as a corporation. Okay. Now I ask the question, do you wish to include your fiscal year end? And I'm going to say yes. For your business, your corporation, when does your fiscal year end for the company? And for my company, it ends December 31st. Okay, that's the end of our fiscal year. Next, let's go into profit allocation. So how will profits be allocated? And there are 3 options here. Each member will receive an equal share. Okay, each member will receive a fixed percentage, or each member is allocated profits based on their capital contributions. All right, so you have a decision here to make. With the first one, each member receives an equal share regardless of their equity percentage. Next, each member will receive a fixed percentage so that can match their equity percentage. And next, in proportion to capital contributions, aka what you actually contributed to the business. I'm going to go with in proportion to capital contributions. Okay, just meaning that what we brought to the business is our share of the profits and what should be allocated. In addition, how I plan to operate my company with John is that every hour that you put into the business grows your contribution pool. Okay, so that's how I want to do it. So I'm going to click the third one. Next, let's go into annual reporting. In addition to federal income tax reports, what other reports do you want to include in your annual report to members? Okay, you have income sheet, balance sheet, cash flow statements, profit and loss summary. These are accounting documents that should be happening on a monthly basis, honestly, for every single business out there. So I'm going to include all of these as a requirement because I believe that it's important. Okay. All right, now we're going into dissolving the company, right? So will the company be dissolved if one member leaves? All right, so if a member leaves, whether they're voted out or so on and so forth, will the company dissolve? That is something that you have to, think about for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and say no. If John leaves for whatever reason, then the company will not dissolve. But how will assets be distributed when a member leaves or when winding up the company? 3 options, similar to profit and loss. Each member will receive an equal share. Each member will receive a fixed percentage in proportion to capital contributions. I'm going to go with in proportion to capital contributions. All right, next let's go into administration. Who can sign contracts on behalf of the company? Any member of the organization or specific groups or individuals? I'm going to go ahead and say any member for me and John, but I want to make sure that you understand that if you click this, any member, regardless of their equity percentage in the business, will be able to sign a contract. If you don't want that to happen, say you may be the only one that can sign on contracts on behalf of the company, then you may want to choose this option. All right, let's go to save and continue. All right, are members allowed to compete with the company? All right, so this is we talking about non-compete clauses. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Right, you can't compete with the company. But how long are members restricted from competing with the company? And I'm going to say for 6 months after leaving. Okay, you can also add other options after leaving the company, right? But I'm going to go ahead and say 6 months after leaving. All right, now let's go into actions that require unanimous consent. So unanimous consent amongst all members. So select the issues that require that. Selling, loaning, mortgaging, or otherwise trading company property, releasing any claim except for payment in full, incurring liabilities over a fixed dollar amount, or incurring expenses over a fixed dollar amount. So I'm going to go ahead and click all of these because I believe, at least in me and John's partnership, that we should unanimously agree on all things that happen with the business. So in current liabilities over a fixed dollar amount, I'm going to say over $0. And in current expenses over a fixed dollar amount, I'm going to say $0. Right? So anything over nothing, we have to unanimously agree on. As you can see, this is very thorough and very detailed and will save you from trouble later on. All right, so additional clauses. Do you want to include any additional terms or information? If you do, you say yes, and you can include them here. I'm going to go ahead and say no. But the good news about all of this is that LLC operating agreements, once again, are editable afterwards if all parties agree and sign on it. So this can be a good starting point once again, but it is not a one and done, right? It can be edited. So I'm going to go ahead and say no, hit save and continue. All right, what is the signing date for this agreement? I'm going to specify a date, and I'm going to go ahead and say today. And will you have witnesses sign this agreement? I'm going to say yes. How cool is that, y'all? So it says to download and print your LLC operating agreement, you must select the free or premium license. Go ahead and select the license. All right, you can go ahead and select free if you want and just get this LLC agreement. If you want to look at some of the other plans, you can. But Law Depot has a ton of other documents that may help you. So consider these options. But me, I'm going to go ahead and do the free trial. All right, and once you do the free trial, you can go ahead and enter your information, and then you can download that agreement and have your LLC operating agreement. So that's Law Depot. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description for you so that you can get here easily and start your own LLC operating agreement. Well, there you have it, your very own LLC operating agreement. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and smash that like button, turn it blue, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. I'm Karan from Life Accounting. Until next time.